Stop yelling
It
at
was
us.
all Schwell's fault, just for the record. He hit one of these buttons that I can't control. But we're going to get back into it.
You're a jerk.
Guns.com, New Jersey Democrats pass repeal of Christie's gun law reforms. We were talking about this in the pre-show. This was about the gal that was killed in her front yard while waiting to get a concealed carry permit approved through the state. Their lengthy process while she was had restraining orders on someone that she thought would try to kill her. And he got something changed with the bill that's now been reversed. So now it's back to where it was, in essence, correct?
They repealed. So it sounds like from reading the articles that the bill that was originally introduced by Christie and signed was kind of hastily run through the process. So they've since repealed it to kind of do a redo. Or they probably had some unintended consequences and some probably wasn't done well the first time. So they repealed it so they can redo it and do it and kind of fill those holes.
Mm-hmm. I also heard today he might end up being one of the people that Trump's looking at for VP. Be interesting to see if that were to happen, what his take on gun violence and that type of thing would seep in or influence anything. Not that Mr. Shotgun's influenced anything from his VP role these days, other than shotgun sales.
Did we ever hear if there was a bump in shotgun sales when he brought that crap up?
There was a bump in all sales.
Well, yeah, assault rifles.
That one. Hold on, I had another story about that. I'll come across it again, I'm sure. Yeah, I don't have it in front of me. Well, there's a couple stories we need to talk about in terms of things that don't make the news. So we know about what happened in Orlando. We know about what's happened in these other places. But in South Carolina, there was an armed citizen that stopped a mass shooting at a nightclub. Incident unfolded around 3:30 a.m. at the Playoffs nightclub in Lyman. That's in South Carolina. Playoffs is with a Z at the end, just for the record. 32-year-old guy got into another fight with another guy. The argument escalated into violent proportions when he brought a gun into the picture. Witnesses said he fired into the crowd that had gathered outside of the nightclub. He shot 3 people and attempted to shoot a 4th, but was unsuccessful. The 4th person was also armed, pulled out his own weapon, and fired a shot which struck him in the leg and brought his spree to a standstill.
We advertised it. We advertised it with the Orlando shooting that clubs are now, clubs are gun-free zone, guys, and now you're going to see a bunch of people going shooting up nightclubs.
There were people carrying guns trying to shoot nightclubs up before Orlando. This is just
true enough.
Yeah.
Is it a copycat?
Nah, I think it was someone got into a fight, had a gun. I do. But someone brought up an interesting parallel: designated drivers and those that carry firearms. Club, kind of same along the same lines.
Well, I think we should be able to, again, under certain parameters. I just don't feel like drinking institutions should be completely off limits. I think if, again, there's a bouncer and there's a rule in Florida that gets imposed where anyone that said, you know what, I'm a concealed carry permit holder, I'm not drinking tonight, and they get slapped on with some sort of a stamp or a wristband for the night, could they take it off? Sure, kick them out, whatever.
Why would you even want to, go that far and identify that person?
Again, it's one of those things where, like I'm saying, a no-drink bracelet kind of thing.
How about we do this? How about we institute, we're all adults out here. If you do something wrong, you pay for your discretion in the court of law, just like everybody else. Why is it that we got to treat everybody? Why do we got to treat everybody like children?
If everyone's got guns and whiskey, it'll be like the Wild Wild West.
Less people get killed in the Wild Wild West than they're getting killed today. And we got more restriction today than we've ever had. And quite frankly, that's why we have laws out there. That's why they say you can't kill people. What's saying you can't carry a gun here or there got to do about that? We already say that you can't kill people. What the hell?
It's true. It's very basic. Back-to-back stories of people saving the day. Here's another one from Maine.
Fired outside the Walmart in Augusta, and now 4 people are facing charges.
Good day, Maine's Jared Peltier is live for us in Augusta this morning. And Jared, police say no one was injured in the shooting.
Correct, Jeff. And Augusta police are also saying that all 4 people involved are in custody. Kennebec County Jail officials say that's where they are this morning after what Augusta police described as a shots-fired incident outside the Walmart on Civic Center Drive last night. Now, all the people in custody right now are facing a variety of different charges. Quisha Reggie McBride is charged with reckless conduct with a firearm along with drug trafficking and heroin. Frankie De Jesus is also facing 1 count of reckless conduct with a firearm, plus an aggravated assault charge. Diana Davis is charged with aggravated assault, and Samantha Tupper is charged with furnishing heroin and violating probation.
Damn, Maine.
Police say Tupper is from Augusta, and the 3 others are all from New York, and all the people involved in this case know each other. Investigators say around 5:30 last night, everybody involved showed up here in 2 separate cars parked next to each other. According to police, 1 person started shooting at the other people in the other car, and after shots rang out, armed bystanders who had guns themselves then stepped in to help keep the situation from escalating any further.
All the suspects involved were sitting in the vehicles parked next to each other. The occupants of one vehicle started shooting at the occupants of another. This resulted in return gunfire.
Right now, Augusta police are still considering this an open case, and they say if they have any new information today, they will release that as soon as possible.
So this one's kind of odd, and this is why I wanted to show it, because what doesn't add up is if you saw a car full of bad people shooting another car full of bad people, would you go anywhere near that to defuse the situation? There's got to be more details on this. There's got to be more.
Just think about the part of the story that they read about where they said they were shooting at each other, parked next to each other, and they missed.
It just says, it takes out, it says again, all the information that there is that both of the bystanders were legally armed and were able to step in and defuse the situation before anyone was harmed. Quote, they had taken out their guns and told them to stop, unquote.
Citizen's arrest?
Well, that's all there really is.
And it is Maine, Kevin.
Oh, it looks like there's people that have claimed on social media that they were one of the people that even though the names haven't been claimed, and they've identified somebody, but I'm not going to go with that because I haven't verified it here. So anyway, thought that was an interesting one. And then customer while with concealed carry permit fatally shoots an axe-wielding attacker at 7-Eleven. Now, Schwell, in the pre-show, we were saying that we thought that this one seemed like it was a repeat, but you said you read it more than one place that it was definitely not.
Right. It's a new story, oddly enough.
Seattle, at the White Center.
With an axe at the 7-Eleven.
It sounds
I feel like I'm playing Clue.
A customer pulled out a pistol and fired, hitting the suspect once the guy was attacking someone with an axe. Amazing. At 5:45 a.m.
They're probably pretty lucky they had a concealed carry permit holder there.
What is going on with your life that you have an axe and you are wielding it at 5:45 in the morning ever?
You didn't have your coffee. Coffee wasn't right. You had some meth. I don't know. Meth or coffee. You know, someone was having a bad day.
Other than
you
Vegas.
tomorrow morning, if you don't get those damn donuts, that's what's gonna happen.
I ain't gonna be getting done. That's about the time. That's about right.
Yeah, see.
All right. Let's talk about the pipe, the PVC pipe guy. Ross, Denver. I didn't realize there was like a homeless jerk parade going on down there. What's going on?
God, apparently an hour south of me, people just want to whack people with PVC pipe. That's what I pick up from. You'll have to show the video, but a guy, 32-year-old guy, attacked an innocent bystander with a big, long PVC pipe. Take a look at this.
Couple of them. And we watched this in the pre-show, and we were all amazed by how many people are very close to the action, yet really don't do anything to avoid anything. bam. I think he hit 2 people at once right there.
The question I have to ask is, let's say this guy runs at you, Kevin, runs at you, Ross, Eric, Casey, wielding the PVC. You're not sure it's PVC or whatever, but he swings it at you, he gets a good hit, or he swings it at you, or he only gets so close and you shoot him. Then what?
That's tough, man.
Watching him right now, I'm gonna fuck him up. I'm not gonna shoot him until I at least kick his ass.
Son, when he went dual wield, it was a wrap.
There's the dual wield, and then now he throws one down. I'm gonna pick that one up right there.
The funny thing is,
double tap it on the ground, let him know I'm serious.
The police show up. He drops everything, takes his arrest like a man. You know, yeah. So the minute
like a crazy ass man.
The minute a gun shows up, the guy drops his pipes.
Ross is like a man. He took it like a man. That motherfucker was walking around on a public street, whacking people with 8-foot sections of PVC pipe.
Yeah, that shit's wrong, dude. If you do the time, do the crime, do the time.
Well,
and when the gun showed up, the guy put his shit down and he stopped. It wasn't like he was after suicide, but the minute somebody met him with equal or greater force, he put this down. That's the takeaway from this.
I'm going to be dead serious and answer your question, Schwell. I'm looking at the video and I'm quarterbacking, but I'm dead serious when I say this to you. There's too many things in that environment that you can use to avoid getting hit with that pipe. The way that he swings it, he's got to take a massive swing, and you can see that he's got to rear it up. It's not a jab that's popping you from right here. He's got to rear. You can watch his body. There's telephone poles and streetlight poles and those big things that people sit on and corners of buildings and a McDonald's to go into.
People that went inside were fine. Like he wasn't trying to go in places.
No.
Guys, the fact of the matter is there were more than 2 capable, strong people there that could have taken care of this guy. I mean, Kevin's right, man. A pipe coming at you from, an 8-foot pipe, you got all the time in the world to get in there. He can't do anything close combat at that point.
But look at those people, Russ. They're like oblivious to this dude coming at him, and he's walking down the street wielding this thing.
They watch him, Eric. They watch him.
This was a group of homeless people that he was attacking, correct? And he is homeless himself. Is that correct?
I believe he's homeless.
So he was actively targeting the people he was trying to hit, correct? This is a known area where there's a bunch of people that are homeless. Is that
maybe it was a predetermined sword fight and the other guys forgot to bring their swords.
Maybe it was a LARPing incident gone bad.
Right.
Could be, yeah. LARPing and meth, man. Again, it's the meth.
LARPing and meth.
People are just unwilling to act. That's what I took away from this video, is that people are just unwilling. When they see shit going down, they would rather grab their cell phone than get involved.
Would you walk away, Ross, if you were down there and you hit that corner as that was going down? Wouldn't you take your family and walk in the other direction, though?
Initially, I think I would until I thought about it, and then I would grow a frickin' nut and I'd get my ass in there, because quite frankly, man, it's our responsibility to stop this shit before somebody gets killed.
I'd go a half a block down, turn around, and open up Facebook Live and make sure.
You know what, Kevin? We say that shit, but what happens when we hear an accident happen outside the hotel?
Yeah, we ran.
It's not like we grab a cell phone, dude.
Hey, how does shit end up on World Star? People.
No, Ross is right. We've come across a situation where we didn't grab our phones. We grabbed what we needed to go help people. But
I mean, you got off the phone. You were on the phone with me when it happened. So Ross is absolutely correct. You were on the phone with me when it happened, and you said, "Hey, there was an accident. I need to get off the line." Okay. You guys were the first responders. Superheroes.
They were Power Rangers. Come on, Joel, get there.
We weren't alone. There was others. Hey, shout out to everybody watching on this second part 2. I flubbed up in 3 years. I think I did it once before in the first year, but there's a stop broadcast button. It's big and red, and somehow I clicked it when I was moving things. I apologize. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Please share this second version of the show tonight with your friends too. We do appreciate you watching each week. We've got some big news coming up very, very soon. And it's going to be good fun time for the Gun News Weekly crew coming this year, that's for sure. Shout out to Q, by the way. I know he had a busy day taking care of some things and had a busy weekend prior to this, but he'll be back with us soon, I'm sure. Back to the stories, and I've got there's still so many gun news related stories. Seattle to melt $90,000 worth of surplus police guns despite a budget crunch. They've got Glocks and let's see. Yeah, they're trying to hire officers. They're trying to do all kinds of different things, and they're just going to throw away these guns. It's a sad thing. Next story.
In the midst of budget crisis, could sell those fucking things on the market for half of what they paid for it, make up some of that budget shortfall. But no, we got to burn the guns because you never know when they might wake up and start shooting people. God, I hate that article.
All right. I don't know why this is a big story, but it seems to be. I'm sure someone's going to enlighten me. The FBI goes back to the 9mm with Glock. What were they?
No.
They were with 40?
The FBI just signed a major contract with the Glock, and they're going to use a Glock 9mm. The big news about that is the Glock contract.
Word Glock, an $85 million contract to produce 9mm handguns for the better part of a decade.
Yep.
That's huge. That's big. Because they just 2 years ago they went back to the 9mm. The last couple years they've.
How many guns do you get for $85 million?
A lot.
How many Glocks do you get for $85 million? Someone do some quick math.
At least $170 million.
I was just going to say that at $500 a pop, 170 million guns.
I don't think
shit.
I don't think that's what it boils down to, though, Kevin. I think there's a $85 million over 10 years means new guns being issued, guns being repaired, guns being replaced, all types of stuff is going to be covered under that. So
well,
it's
a caliber change as well.
They're probably swapping out 40
caliber.
caliber.
40
to 9. Yeah,
right. So they're going. So they're swapping out everything.
Yeah. So
the FBI estimates spending between $20 million and $85 million in the next 10 years under the contract. How do you plan on spending $20 million on an announced $85 million contract? That's odd to me.
85 is the ceiling. What they do is they estimate it. So from a budget perspective, they average $8.5 million a year.
Okay, here we go. The contract makes. So why don't I just read? The contract may also help equip 10 federal law enforcement agencies: the ATF, the DEA, the U.S. Marshals, etc., and the Officer of the Inspector General for all federal agencies. It still sounds like a lot of guns.
So it's also standardizing across multiple agencies. I bet you if you look at them today, they're using SIGs, they're using Glocks, they're using 9s and 40s and whatever. So now you're standardizing. So from a procurement standpoint, you have it's a lot easier to go re-equip, reorder, do what you got to do.
All right, here's a news story for us. Plantation cop, Fort Lauderdale firefighter arrested in Tennessee after target practice goes awry. What's that rule number 4?
Don't
know what lies behind your target.
Thank you. I'm not even going to tell you their names, but a couple of 28 and 30-year-olds, along with a restaurant owner that was their friend that's 40, were taken into custody on June 8th after a night target practice started striking 3 occupied homes with bullets. They all face 8 counts of felony reckless. I just lost my tongue on that one. Sorry, I'll start over. All 3 of them face 8 counts of felony reckless endangerment, said the spokesman for Bradley County Sheriff's Office. They're scheduled to appear on August 23rd. The weapons, described as an AR-15 and 2 pistols, were aimed at a 5-gallon water jug sitting on top of a trailer, according to a police report. Beyond the trailer and woods, behind the woods, are 3 houses a substantial distance away. They started shooting and the bullets started going into the houses.
Woof.
They thought, when they called the cops and the cops arrived, they thought there was people possibly in the wood line targeting the residents for some reason.
Could you imagine being in one of those homes? You're sitting there, it's at night, and rounds are just impacting the side of your house?
One of the people shooting joined the Fort Lauderdale Fire Rescue in May of 2007. So they're a veteran.
And he left the service on what day? No, I'm kidding. So
It's a female. The two people from Florida are
She was a
females.
decorated member of the agency and is an officer with the U.S. Air Force. Seashwell. She has been deployed to Iraq and to Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan, where she was a technical sergeant, according to a Sun Sentinel profile in 2014. She built, maintained, and delivered bombs and missiles and volunteered at a base hospital. The police officer was hired by the plantation police officer 3 years ago. She is on restricted duty. So there's a couple chicks who went up and visited a guy who owns a restaurant in Tennessee and went out back and started popping rounds. Not safe, not careful, we'll pay the price. Ross, that back to the your adult solution.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
Here's the deal with that. When I read the story, it just screamed to me. They went up to Tennessee, they met this dude, or went up to visit a friend, and he was like, "Hey, let's go in the backyard and do some shooting." But these two visitors would assume that if he's going back here to shoot, maybe he's done this before, maybe he knows what's back there. He owns the property. Okay, let's go ahead. You get back there and then find out like what kind of rude awakening was this for them when the police showed up. Now they're plastered all over the news, all over social media as this happens. It's terrible.
That's got to be horrible. Imagine that, like, hey, let's go do something, and you're like, worst decision of my life.
Hey, quick reminder, it is your responsibility to know what lies behind your target. Not the homeowner's, your responsibility.
Yeah, but honestly, if I came over to one of you guys' house and you're like, hey, let's go shooting, I wouldn't second guess what's back there because it's you guys.
Ooh, it's tough when you got to trust it, but you also got to be aware. You know what I mean? That's
At
a
the
rude
end of the
awakening.
day, you are responsible for every bullet that leaves the barrel of your gun, right?
100%.
What if the gun belonged to the guy that brought you out there?
And what if
Well,
they
then screw it, then it's a problem.
what if they asked, right? They said, hey, is this good to go? And he's like, yep.
So it is what it is.
Cool.
What else you got, Kevin?
I got a couple more for you. Rounding it out, and then the stories about the ladies, and then we'll get out of here. The NRA hoax page was removed along with 38,000 others. Last week, a group of social influencers posted an elaborate spoof involving Smith & Wesson and the NRA, which led to a good chunk of the internet getting pulled. It doesn't really say from where. Complete with a very official-looking statement, the hoaxers unveiled the Share the Safety program that promised that for every select Smith & Wesson handgun sold, a second one would be donated to urban youth. Project was put on by the Yes Men, a culture-jamming duo composed of blah, 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 who created a number of similar spoofs as a part of their campaign to affect social change. So now they're coming after gun companies and doing things like that.
And they give it a legitimacy by saying they're, trying to inflict social change, when really all they're doing is terrorizing places like the NRA and things that they don't agree with. Of course, it's free speech, so you can't really do much about it. But their added legitimacy doesn't hold water with me.
I hear you. All right, let's get on to the stories about the ladies. The first one's the worst one, so let's just get it out of the way. It's unbelievable. Two really beautiful young ladies, this Texas mother who killed her two beautiful young daughters. Christy Sheets, 42, killed her two daughters, Taylor, 22, and Madison, 17, at their home in Texas around 5 p.m. last Friday. According to the sheriff's office, she called a family meeting that included the two girls and her husband, but the discussion escalated into an argument about marital issues, her and her husband, before she held up the gun and shot both of her daughters. The girls had managed to escape through the front door, but one collapsed and died there, and the other one was shot a second time before going back into the house to reload. She went back. The mom went back in the house, reloaded, came back out, and shot the other daughter, who later died at the hospital. Just unbelievable.
Absolutely tragic.
Cops showed up, and I believe they killed her, didn't they? Hold on one second.
They did.
Yeah, I think that was one of those things. The cop showed up, she probably still had the gun in her hand, was talking shit, and they took her out. That's what I read in the other report.
The husband survived this exchange, all of this that happened, and now he has to live the rest of his life knowing all of this stuff. The anti-gunners are actually parading this lady around, her image around, talking about how this was a gun-toting CCW having NRA supporting mother. You know, they said that she, at one point, she was the poster child for gun lovers of America, you know, and now they're just using it as a reason to try and grab the guns. So we'll see where it goes from here.
There was more to it. I read, I'm looking for it. She was not some saint. The sheriff's department had been to her house like over a dozen times. Here you go. 14 service calls to the house since January of 2012. 14 calls since 2012. So that's, call it 4 years. Right?
Yes. Do you need us to spell check for you too?
I'm not good at math. I told you that before. So that's every quarter she's got cops coming to the house.
If it was Hawaii and it was a domestic, a domestic misdemeanor or whatever.
The Hawaii Supreme Court, they would have lost their firearms.
Right. Did you guys read the story about Kelly McGillis?
No, I don't even know who that is.
Top Gun. She was the.
Do you know what Top Gun is?
The movie with Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she was the his love interest in the movie.
What about her?
She was an instructor for the Air Force. What do you mean, what about her?
What about her? Where are we going with the story, Kevin?
She's Air Force. She was in the movie. It was a great movie. That volleyball scene. I mean, come on.
Volleyball scene? That was sweaty dudes. What are you talking about?
Oh, my God. It was one of the greatest. Oh, with the music and everything. And then he jumped on the motorcycle. Oh, God. Anyway, she had a horrific incident, actually. Man, she put the whole post on her Facebook page. But long story short, she is now proudly claiming to become a concealed carry permit holder and getting the training and shooting to learn. She posted a picture of her target from the range. She said, quote, "They rushed me through the concealed and carry course, so I am armed and ready. The Henderson County Sheriff's Department has been absolutely the greatest. Here's my first target practice. I only missed 5 from the center out of 30 rounds. All hit the target." So she put 25 rounds in the red on a silhouette target. What she had to deal with was got to be horrendous to anybody that comes home to a home invasion like that, where there's someone in your home that you don't want to be there, and then they get violent with you and things happen.
And just, I mean, this was a stalker that broke into her home. The stalker brought her kid with her, flew from like St. Louis or something, attacked her when she came in the house. The
whole thing's bizarre.
Yeah.
But we often talk about people who are anti-gun and you know, immediately you know, out in social situations you get into conversations with people, and time again, I think one of the best questions you can ask somebody that again is anti-gun and getting angry at you is, have you ever had a situation in your life where you feared for your life? Because most people that I know that have been anywhere near any situation like that, they don't have a problem with the ability for someone to be able to protect themselves should some bad shit go down. And I think this is a perfect example of that. I'm kind of mad Casey jumped off because he'll miss this, but Nancy Grace is leaving her network home for the past 12 years. She'll no longer be talking on headline news. I read a little bit about her. I have a little more respect for her after reading this, because I didn't realize that she, you know, started this career a very long time ago when her husband was murdered when she was only 19. And she changed her study in Shakespearean literature to a career in law, where she became a very famous criminal attorney, prosecutor, taking on the bad guys. And Casey also left. So, are we done with gun stories? Can I switch to something off base?
Do it.
The hottest cop on earth.
Ooh. Damn, Casey's gonna regret missing this.
She's a German policewoman, self-proclaimed fitness-addicted, food junkie bikini model. All right, ready? Ross. Oh, here you go. Let me get it a little bit bigger. Hold on. Oh, wrong one.
Holy shit. She's a cop?
Yeah, she's a cop. I'll give you the one. You ready for the one?
Mm-hmm.
She's ripped for sure.
Mm-hmm.
She's got all kinds of videos of her working out.
Folks that are watching the show, I did not pre-approve
Thrust
this.
squats.
We did not talk about this
We
before the
approve.
show aired.
We
And-
approve good police work all the time. What are you talking about?
Whatever. Does she even have a gun?
It was Casey. It was for Casey, but he'll have to check it out later.
It's Germany. Did she have a gun? Or did she have a baton in her pants?
I'm sure she's got a keychain of some sort.
If it doesn't have a gun.
Surely it is often hard work, she says. Sometimes I have to handle things which no one would like to see. Okay. All right. What else?
Daddy like.
I hit it all. I got one piece of gear to talk about because I gotta move on, and one of them's not gonna be here. We're back in business with Garmont. They've had a lot of issues with the color compliant boots, but this is the one that's known as the non-color compliant. But if you're just looking for an everyday kick around training boot, I've been wearing these for all kinds of stuff. The difference is that the color on the nylon part is darker than what's compliant with the Army right now. Comes in two different styles. I've got both of these for $1.19 on TacDaddy.com. Go check it out. Use ShipFreeTD and get free shipping. $120. That's a great boot for that price for sure.
Did it sound like he said shit free TD to you guys too?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't the only one.
The new double clip tandem is up on both sites, so check out that new Nate Squared if you're into if you're a guy that likes two clips. Super streamlined, nothing on your body. I'll be putting out a video with a full review on that one soon because I've been messing around with that. And then the standard Nate Squared is great for the summer. That's all I had for gear. I had one more. Where's that one I wanted to shout out? Make sure you check out tacticalapplicationsgroup.us. We'll be doing some stuff and talking to them very soon, but make sure you check that out. That's one of the Joe Biggs projects where they're actually teaching people how to shoot guns for movies and stuff like that. But once again, tacticalapplicationsgroup.us. That's all I got. You guys have anything else?
Have a good 4th, everybody.
Good call, Eric. Thanks. Schwell, anything?
Nope.
Ross.
Happy Independence Day, guys. Shout out to Bill out there with Teal Blue Bravo. He's watching tonight. Thanks for watching, bud. And if anybody out there is looking for an awesome accessory for their AR-15, that PDQ is pretty badass, Kevin. I appreciate you sending that to me.
We'll talk soon more about that, I'm sure. How long did you have it before it was in? Probably 4 minutes?
I think probably right around that. Yeah, it actually took me probably 15 to grind through the AR with my Leatherman.
Eyeballed it. He didn't even look at the instructions. He was like, "Oh, I know where that goes." Just pulled out the Dremel.
No Dremel. I made a point of doing it with my Leatherman just to see if it could be done. I didn't think it was going to be possible, but my Leatherman, the Leatherman Wave, also my EDC, my #1 EDC item is my Leatherman Wave.
Thanks for Bill. Check out Teal Blue Bravo. Check out that PDQ. It's pretty awesome. And again, thanks to Frank and everybody that's helped support us along the way. Make sure you check out everybody on Instagram, Facebook, all that fun stuff. That's it. It was a great week. Sorry about the mishap in the middle of the show. Thanks everybody for jumping on. We will see you next week. Eric, how many weeks out are we from your guest, your medical guest? Because I want to talk about medicals. Next week.
We got next week, yeah. Caleb from Lone Star Medical will be on next Thursday.
Caleb from Lone Star Medical will be on next Thursday. Awesome. So now we know that's been confirmed. Again, stay frosty out there, as they say. Be aware of your surroundings as you're out there with your families. Have a great time. It's America. Enjoy America for what it is. I think we're all on a heightened sense of alert right now. I feel a real anxiety in the world with all these different things that are going on. Don't think of your average friend out there that's choosing to conceal carry as a nut. He's out there choosing to have, again, the tool of the day on him to make sure that everything's safe and sound should some bad shit happen. Just like you have a fire extinguisher in your house in case a fire happens. I guess, I don't know, I just wanted to end it on a note saying have a great time with your families this weekend. Enjoy them. Enjoy America. God bless America. And talk to you guys soon. Peace.